G'day folks and welcome to Australian UFO Sightings official podcast. I'm your host Anthony Goodall and you're listening to Encounters Down Under. Here we invite guests on the show to tell us about their encounters with aliens and UFOs, where most of our episodes were streamed live from our Facebook page, which gave listeners the opportunity to ask questions to our guests regarding their encounter. If you have had an encounter and would like to be a guest on the show, please get in touch with us. You can send us a message through our Facebook page, Encounters Down Under, or send us an email at australianUFOsightings@outlook.com.au. Be sure to join us on Facebook and share with your friends and family to help us grow, and hopefully encourage others to come forward with their encounter. If you're an iTunes listener and a fan of the show, why not give us that 5-star rating and review, and you could have your review featured on the podcast. But enough of that, let's get into what you've been waiting for. So kick back, relax with your favourite beverage, and enjoy the show. G'day folks and welcome to another episode of Encounters Down Under. On this episode, General Lee from Subconcious Realms podcast joins me on this episode to give an insight into his own interests that brought him into creating his own podcast and to talk about the strange world we live in. Be sure to check out his podcast on iTunes and Spotify. So please welcome to the show, General Lee. G'day General Lee, how you going mate?
Alan, mate, you okay pal?
Yeah, going good, mate. Mate, thanks for coming on the show. Great having you on again, mate. I think it's about time we had you on there because I've been on your show a few times now. But, you know, look, time to return the favour. It's time to get you on
mate.
here.
Thank you. Yes.
That's great, mate. So, look, basically the idea here is what I want to do is I want to try and get people a better idea. If they haven't been listening to your podcast already from when we were doing the Swapcast there, like I want people to sort of know a bit more about you, like what you are behind this whole podcast, what your interests are, where you sort of started, and what sort of got you this interest there. So, like, I'm gonna let you go and take over, mate, and sort of give us a good idea of what this whole story of your podcast career is like.
Oh, thanks, mate. Before we begin, mate, it is a true honour of being a guest on your show. All our conversations, they're always killer shows, mate. Always. I'm generally host and creator of Subconcious Realms podcast, available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Pod. Instagram is at subcon_realms33. My Twitter is at subconrealms33, and email subconsciousrealms@gmail.com. With regards to what I'm into, do you know what, mate? I think that is forever changing and forever growing. I think it's like each episode I do, it'll be something different. I'll try and get something different. And each guest that I get on, Anthony, I learn from them. Don't matter what they speak about, I'm learning. I'll probably always be learning. I find every topic covered fascinating. Some more fascinating than the next, but you know, I love mythology. I think that's my forte, really, mythology. I love hidden history, but I love aliens and UFOs and shit like that as well. I love everything, mate.
Yeah, there's a lot out there to sort of learn from, isn't there? Like, because we don't know where we're sort of going with the information, because like everything's all obviously still under speculation with a lot of information. That's what we get told. Because people research.
We can only assume it, can't we?
Yeah, and like whether it's true or not, that's the thing. But it still has a really interesting sort of story to it, because like it could very well be possible. Obviously, we will never know, but you know, anything is possible in this sort of world, in this sort of realm.
I think that's what it is, isn't it? I think anything can be possible. Most likely, the majority of it, as painful as it is to say, might not be true. But I will. I'll sway the way if it's a small percentage, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
But I think when people claim they've seen certain entities, now I'm not saying they're lying. I'm not saying that at all. I want to believe, but I think I'll only be 100% convinced when I see something with my own eyes. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
It's like, uh, it's like you said to me. Oh, if I said to you, "Oh yeah, I went for a walk at shop and I said a dog man." As a friend, I would believe you, but I'd also be like, deep down, I'd be like, fucking hell, I wish I would have been there just to see it. Because I'm not doubting you. I'm not doubting anybody. But until I see something with my own eyes, then it's yeah. And all it takes, Anthony, is just say 1,000 people said they've seen a UFO. All it takes is one to be right. That's all it needs, just one.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it does. But also in a sense too, like if you want to try and bring out something credible evidence that's, a lot of disclosure to the whole thing to sort of give a lot evidence to the whole topic, you sort of want that sort of, 1,000 people to sort of have the same story or have some sort of capture on their phones or something like that to sort of give it a lot more credibility, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does, mate. So all it takes is one, and yes. So a lot of the shit out there, mate, I do think it's highly possible. But it would be nice to have that evidence. Like, for example, Bigfoot. It would be nice to see something more than a blurry picture.
Oh, definitely.
There must be something out there.
There's got to be you got Bigfoot, you got the Yowies there, you got all these different weird sort of cryptid creatures there. Like people are saying these things, like you're saying, yeah. Look, it only takes one person to sort of give a bit of credibility to a possible sighting, but it doesn't mean it's not true because not everyone's out there to make wash it up. They're not all talking shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. This is it, mate. This is what makes everything so fascinating to me. Is somebody must have proof somewhere. I mean, we know like what the Smithsonian's do when they find those giant bones, the skeletons, and they suddenly vanish. I mean, it's not just giant bones. What they're probably covering up. They're probably covering up shitloads of stuff. But we just need something. I think we deserve it, don't we?
Yeah, it's overdue. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I think somebody knows more than what they're letting on.
Yeah, definitely got to be something
Well,
to do with the deep state or something. They're writing on
hey
it
mate,
surely.
hey mate, yeah, I love that. It's probably right. Um, I think I, I think as well the government, yes, CIA, FBI, MI6, MI5, all of them, probably up to know all kinds of shit. They could be creating all kinds of fucking chimera cryptids for all we know.
Yeah, well, you think
Because
about the experiments and shit back in the like World War days, like they were actually like doing experiments on human bodies and that, and mutations of the human body and stuff like that. Like you go right down in that sort of part there, and
but,
they could have created some weird
yeah,
ass creatures in those days, of trying to come up with super soldiers there for their wars and whatnot.
yeah, yeah, they think they tried to create all kinds, haven't they?
Yeah,
But think about what they were doing back then, and think of how technology's changed.
yeah,
So can you imagine what the fucking hell? Could be half T Rex, half Bigfoot for all we
yeah.
know.
That's right.
Fucking hell, mate.
Well, for all we know, like all these cryptids that we sort of see these days, like these weird ones, they're sort of like probably are a creation of humans' ingenuity for all you know.
Hey, yeah, yeah. DNA manipulation.
Yeah.
Could be that, mate. Yeah, definitely.
So it's as strange and scary as it is. You know, I don't know. Anything's possible. But like when you go back into sort of the history of the world and sort of stuff, like going through the ancient histories of ancient civilizations, they're sort of got their own
Yeah,
stories and whatnot of seeing creatures and stuff like that. So it's like, well, where did they come from? They got like Yeah, he's a big one here for Australian Aboriginals of their story times. You know, they've forever seen them walking around with them and that. And then you got was it over in America? They got the skinwalkers and stuff like
Yeah, they've
that with
got
the American
dogmen.
Indians.
They've got shitloads over there, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't know what. So like, what's going on over there? Like, but it's sort of weird. Like you look at Dogman, the Mothman, and the Hat Man. Like these are the new sort of cryptids that have probably been around the last what maybe 40 years, if not less. I don't know. I can't
Yeah,
don't quote me on an actual time
black-eyed
frame, but
kids. There's loads in there now. Loads.
yeah, and it's like where
Chupacabra.
they come from. Yeah, I think Chupacabra was a Mexican, South American sort of one of their
Yeah,
sort of
like
ancient sort of cryptid.
half a kangaroo, half a reptilian thing or something.
Yeah, something weird going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, don't know what screens.
That sort of sounds like a human engineering gone bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's so much, mate. I think out of everything though, it's got to be mythology. But I mean, like I said, Anthony, it's it changes weekly.
Yeah,
That's how I just find everything so fucking fascinating. And it really, I mean, I used to love like before starting my own show. I used to listen to used to love listening to podcasts, but you, you, I used to try and if you stick to the same one, I think it can be a bit long winded. But then you listen, then you find another podcast, and then it starts growing and growing. And there's some brilliant podcasts out there, mate. But there's a lot of shows don't get the recognition they deserve,
yeah, that's it.
and they're just as good, if not better, than these mainstream ones. I'm not calling any podcast because I know how much hard work goes into arranging guests. Then you got your research in, and so there's a lot goes into it. So I appreciate how much hard work goes into it, and I think you realise it more when you do your own.
Yeah, you do. Because like, it's all well and easy just to sort of sit there and listen to that, but like and
Yeah,
everyone probably thinks it's like, oh, you look at what you're doing, is just sitting there and talking to someone on over the other side, you know. And it's like, yeah, that's easy itself, but you know, to keep the show going, you got to go and hunt down your own guests if you can't get them to go and contact you
you
first,
do,
you know.
mate.
And
Yeah,
it takes a lot of time and effort, and then you got to try and
yeah,
arrange that time, you know, organize the time, and that suits both times, you know. And that's the hard part, getting that sort of
yeah,
arrangement.
yeah. I mean, it's like I said to you before we started recording. Like for a round table, to get like 4 or 5 guests on, you're talking a week to arrange it. Then you've got that's 4 or 5 different countries, so you've got to try and get the time zones all matched up, and you've got to get it to where it's the right balance of because you don't want to get 4 or 5 guests all with the same perspective because it's not going to make an interesting conversation. You want that where it's got completely different because
Yeah,
then that it's not an argument. It doesn't, and it's not going to be an argument. You can have a conversation, and you have different results. You just got to get the right balance. That's what it's all about, mate. And but it's time consuming.
yeah, definitely. And I got to
And
commend you on that too, mate. Like the amount of round tables you do and you organise, mate. That's just a well
oh,
effort in
thanks, mate.
itself,
Thank
mate.
you,
That's yeah, I got to commend you on that one. Absolute
thank you.
awesome effort.
Yeah, I do. I mean, we used to do them every week, sometimes more than one a week. But with the things out at the moment, it's not easy doing them every week, mate. So I'm on that basis. I've not been doing them every week because I've got other things what I'm working on, which you know about
Yep.
that. But I'm trying my best, mate. We Grub was on more end of days last night, and Dan asked us to go on that, so that was a bit of a round table last night, which we enjoyed. It was a quality show.
Yeah, no, I look forward to listening
But
to the episode.
yeah, I think it'll be on his YouTube or something like that, mate. I'm not quite sure.
Yep.
I'm sure it'll be something like that. But yeah, I do. I mean, like I say, I like mythology, Anthony, but I do. I like more now is like the UFO stroke alien side of things as well, especially when you hear about like entities, like grey aliens, or there might be a different race. I find that the description of how people explain what they look like, I think, it's fascinating. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I just love the fact that like people are actually seeing these things all around the world. That's the strange part. Like, because when you hear about cryptids, like we were saying before, like America's got a lot of their stuff there, and I think they seem to be more common
Yeah,
over there when it comes to their sort of Hat Man, Mothman, and all sorts of stuff. But yet,
there's an awful lot there, though, isn't there?
yeah, but when it
An
comes to
awful
aliens
lot.
and UFOs and sort of stuff, like people are seeing them worldwide, and there's the only differences in those kind of experiences is when people see a different object or a different craft, they got their own different shapes to them. So they're not all the same shapes,
Yeah,
but yet these
yeah,
aliens always seem to have
yeah,
the same sort of look to them. So it's a weird concept.
yeah. Have you? I don't know if you have you heard of like insectoid? You've
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of
I've heard of them. Yep.
insectoids? Yeah. Do you get many of them sightings in Australia? Just out of curiosity.
No, not really. Not from my knowledge. People have obviously seen them and experienced them, but it doesn't seem to be a common thing. I sort of find more people seeing greys more than anything.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it tends to be, man. Like grey aliens, and not these insectoids, or is it mantis? Is it called
Yeah,
mantisoids or something? Yeah. I fucking know. I mean, yeah. Walking down the street, if you see a grey alien, I think it won't be. Well, I won't say I'd be too concerned, but if I sent like fucking 14-foot praying mantis coming towards me, it's a completely different kettle of fish, isn't it?
oh, isn't it? What man? That'd be scary as hell. That is like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't know what I'd do to myself. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna go the easy way
I
and
tell
get
you
a
what,
bullet through my head or
I
something.
better be strong as shit as well, that won't it?
Oh, they're probably taking on like the tank shells wouldn't do anything. Probably.
Yeah, yeah, mate, yeah. That's what I love about finding out the different, like the races, because they can't just be grey aliens and insectoids. There's got to be others.
Yeah, no, that's it. Like you got the reptilians there, like they're our overlord masters of the world, basically the old reptilians. So it claims.
Yeah,
But there's a heap of
yeah.
different
Well,
races though. There's okay, so you got the grey aliens. I'm going off the top of my head here, so I can't name all of them. But you got the grey aliens, you got the insectoids, you got the Palladians, then you got the Nordics.
Palladians. Yeah, that's now. Sorry to interrupt, mate. Right, but
Yeah.
Palladians. It's only recently I found out about them. One of my returning guests that he mentioned Palladians, and I've never heard of them before.
Oh, true.
Yeah, gee, have you heard of them quite a lot?
They
The
come
thing
up
is,
quite often.
yeah, it's
Um,
like with your show, Anthony, because I think your show is very unique, and you've like specific for alien. And you now don't get me wrong, you do other things, but like your main, your like forte is aliens and UFOs. So
yeah.
you'll know quite a lot of the different races. I should imagine.
Oh, I'd like to think so, but I don't really. There's
Hey,
just a
well,
lot.
you know that book I showed you before, the author Dave Eamons.
Yeah.
I've actually got that book here, and it's got a couple of the races. Uh,
Oh yeah.
tell me if you're familiar with any of these. Let me see if I can get so.
Yeah, go for it.
Uh, blue alien hybrids.
Okay, I also feel like that might be from a mix of the grey aliens, but they're more of a bluish kind of color.
All right, okay.
Maybe. Don't. I'm not sure on that. I'm
Hey,
just thinking. Yeah, because apparently there's like 62 different races of grey aliens.
How many?
62 or 63 different types of
62.
races. Yeah, something like that.
That's just greys.
Yeah.
62 different kind of. Mate.
So the way I'm sort of thinking of it is like, human race, we have our own different kind of races. Like, with the Asians, we've got Africans, we've got Aboriginals, Indians and such and whatnot. So I'm sort of thinking it might be in the same sort of concept as that, whereas they're from might have a different skin tones and different cultures in their own way, or that's just how I'm sort of picturing how you have 63 different races of grey aliens. So I'm not 100% sure on that because I've only just started learning that one myself when it comes to that. Because I thought there were different kinds of different few not different races but different organizations of grey aliens, and they were just doing their own thing here and there, or some might be a bit allied with the Galactic Federation, if that's real or not. I don't know.
Well, it's a possibility, isn't it? Why not? It's like you said, why there's different. We've got different colored skin.
Yeah.
I guess it could be that, or maybe they're from a different part of whichever realm they're from. I don't know, but that's really interesting. I like that.
Yeah, it's a weird concept because you think they're all just the same sort of race and they're all working together, but apparently no, there's a few bad grey aliens there. They're the ones that sort of abduct you and experiment on you and all that sort of stuff and whatnot. Whereas the other ones they're a bit more kinder. They want to sort of like contact you, but not in a threatening way. So they do it. They still abduct you, but they only do it in a different concept. They're not just like not very forceful.
Yeah.
But either way, to me, abductions are forceful in their own way because, for one, we're not aware of it and we don't really consent to the abduction when it's happening. We're gonna just find out from a horrible memory afterwards if we're lucky.
I mean, the word abduction as well. It's a nefarious word anyway, isn't it? Really, it's so yeah. I can't see it being a pleasurable experience, but again, I don't know. I just think I find it super interesting when it's like they've been abducted numerous times and they keep getting abducted. I think that's there must be something behind that.
Yeah, there definitely is.
It's like Dave the author. I know it's really interesting. Do you think it could be a bloodline thing? Do you think it's like if somebody's got like certain talents, like if they're gifted in a way, like you know what I mean, like gifted in a way where like they can fucking astral travel or something along those lines.
Yeah, I sort of feel like people do have a certain what would you call it? Oh, I'm trying now. Like traits that have some sort of special trait about
traits.
them.
That's a good one. That yeah.
Where like whether they do have a higher connection with the frequency to be able to sort of connect with the paranormal, or they're connecting with just meditation sort of side of things themselves, like with the telekinetic. No, that's not the right one, is it?
Telekinesis.
Isn't it? Isn't telekinesis where they're moving stuff with their minds? Telepathy and stuff like that. That's
telepathy.
Yeah.
Like mind related things.
Yeah. So whether they could have a connection like that, I don't know. That's the tough one. It's obviously there's something there in that. Yeah, when you're saying like when they mentioned bloodlines, there has been a connection there where through their family history there has been something going on, and
yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So look, honestly, there is a connection there with something there. There's obviously something in their bloodline, something in their gene pool that they're interested in that they really want to sort of take on. It's sort of an advantage. And people claim that there's hybrids enough and that where they're sort of mixing their own DNA with our DNA, and those people with that special bit of gene in their family would be a benefit to these alien races. What are they doing? These
yeah,
hybrid sort of organizations.
yeah. Because like we said, there must be something of significance behind them to keep abducting people.
Yeah,
Something what I think possibly government know about, because you hear tales were about when they made a pact, with the US president, and I don't know how true that is, but I think uh, I think people of a certain power, maybe government officials, know about what's going on,
yeah,
because there's no way that they would get away with that. Keep doing that, getting away with it, because you see a lot of it goes on around air bases as well. Which you think if there's stuff going on around a military base and the military's not onto it, I'm not having that.
no, that's right. Yeah, no, there's definitely something going on. They definitely know what's going on.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
definitely.
Because for so many years we've already had this sort of technology sort of boomed up. I think we talked about this last time. I'm a firm believer on the Roswell crash.
The
So
Roswell, yeah, yeah.
introducing a lot of technology. Because we sort of seemed to boom then on the microchips and compact CDs and microwaves and whatnot, and things just sort of really booms right up on our technology side. Now we're at this point where we're just sort of improving technology. We're not really coming up with anything new. Everything's just getting improved. It's just getting better.
Do you know something? You've got a point there, mate. Yeah, uh, better. Like, we've not invented much really. I mean, you think you've invented mobile phones, but mobile phones have been around for a while. They've just got better and better and better. Whereas now, like a phone's like a fucking computer,
Yeah.
which you think 25, 30 years ago, I wouldn't have thought of anything like this, would you?
No, absolutely not. No, like the biggest thing is like you look at Star Trek in the early days when that first came out. They were talking on these little devices like a mobile phone or talking like from like as if
Yeah.
they're talking between camera and camera and made that into reality like 30 years later. It's like holy Jesus. To people back in
Yeah,
those days,
yeah.
that was just a science fiction movie thinking, oh wow, that's incredible, and then now today's reality. That's just the norm.
It is. It is. This is it, mate. This is why I think one of the pros about um, doing subconscious realms is just knowing that I'm going to be learning something next
Yeah,
week, something different. Um, that's what I love about it all.
yeah. But
I think.
you're right. Go.
Go on, mate. No, once okay.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was like when you look at humans' history and such, and this is something that Triffin from Unlocking the Code sort of mentioned and brought up, and it makes a really good point where
What do you think of?
uh, like you look at the human civilizations, like we're like how old are we? Like 20,000 years old or something, or something. We're pretty old, like humans in themselves, and it's only been like the past what 4,000 like about 1,000 years, I think we sort of started like getting technology. So like as they going through like the Copper Ages, medieval times, and then we came up into the Steam
Dark
Age,
Ages, yeah, yeah, yeah.
all sorts of stuff, and then we came into the World War. We've got the diesel engines. We're getting the whole. Now we've got the electrical age. Now we're coming into like the technology age, and it's like, well, what happened? Like that's over a basis of 1,000 years. What happened to that 10,000 years prior? Why were we still out there throwing sticks and stones at each other throughout that whole time? Like, where did that sort of change? Where we could just suddenly go boom in like 1,000 years? Well, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That is very, very interesting. Um,
And so, like, yeah, what
my
happened?
my perspective on that is, mate, I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm just being honest with you. I think
Yeah, Oh, look, I don't think
I
anyone
think
really have
there's
answers.
I think there's a lot we don't know. I think there's an awful lot we don't know. It's like pyramids.
Yeah,
I don't even think Egyptians built them. I don't know who built them. People can. It's like you're saying, can speculate.
yeah,
The size of the pyramid. Now, I've not been there myself, so I don't know what it looks like to be close to it. But apparently, it's huge. It looks huge anyway from pictures, but I don't know. I mean, people mention uh, like uh, sound, levitations, that kind of. But I don't know. What do you think about? Do you think the pyramids were built by some sort of sound manipulating
Oh, using the frequencies to
movement?
sort of, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Look, I'm not against the idea because it just seems very, very impossible for us to sort of do that back in those days. You know, it's just something like apparently we can't even do that today's technology, or we find it very difficult, very costly. You know,
yeah,
whereas back in those days, like yeah, okay, you got slave labor and whatnot if they were slaves or whatever they were, but you know, they'll either way they got it done. They smashed it out.
they got it done. Yeah,
Whether it was
um,
humans, but it's a long way up though. Like you're saying, like you know, they look big, and I'm pretty sure they are bloody massive. So to try and get all those bricks and blocks up there and whatnot, it's just yeah, it seems I don't know, it seems mind-boggling, and can't really answer it.
I know. I mean, I can't even say, oh, I'll sway this way to Nephilim building them, but then you're looking, uh, you know, the existence of giants. I'm not saying I don't believe there was giants,
Mm.
but I honestly don't know. I think pyramids is very perplexing to think about.
Yeah,
I don't even think the Egyptians built them themselves, but who built them? I don't know.
yeah, well, that's it.
I don't know.
Well, you look over in bloody Rome and Greek, and even to South America with all their sort of uh, their iconic sort of ancient temples and all their pillars. Like, how do they get
Yes,
them up there? Like, how do they get them up top there to sit across and all this stuff? And they're still sitting up there to this day. You know, and it's like so massive just sitting there. Like, how do they get that crossbeam up top there? You know, they're all one pieces. You know, they're not
yeah.
separate
It's
parts here and
a
there. They're just one big massive stone beam.
it's one of the is it the King's Chamber where it's like disgracefully big blocks right in the center where and they're like precision like you couldn't even get a piece of paper down the side
Yeah,
that
yeah,
accurately put
that's right.
together. Something silly like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like everywhere. Like, there's all these like these stone walls that are like the stone's precise. Like the shapes are
Yes,
interlocked with each other. And it's like, well, how the hell can you do that back in that day and age?
mate. They can't even do that now.
No, we have a hard time as
You
it
think?
is. We cheat. We go and cheat and make sure like we use bloody bit of brick and mortar, you know, a bit of concrete
Yeah,
between it, and just try and bind it together
yeah.
instead of using it to interlock each other. But anyway,
It's fascinating the
yeah,
capabilities in what that civilization, whichever civilization built pyramids are. I don't think we will see anything like that.
no, it's just
'Cause
sad that it sort of
It's
died as well.
it is sad. Do you know what? It's like the same sadness as where this is going to sound daft, this, but uh, have we really been to the moon? No.
Yeah, I know.
It's. I think it's disappointing because they've done themselves no favors by not going back there. Why have we not been back?
Yeah, well, they're trying to
Uh,
blame it on the costs. You know, it's too costly to keep going back up there, and it's like, well,
but yeah, they can keep going back into Mars.
yeah, it's right.
What's is is what's closest to us, the Moon or Mars?
Yeah, yeah, which one? That's right. It's like when they started talking about, you know, they're trying to start colonizing Mars, and they thought, oh yeah, look, we'll just go straight there and just, you know, we'll wing it and see how it goes. And yet they're trying to build all these facilities there to try and test, you know, radiation levels, trying to maintain like these facilities there for people to live in, you know, without
Yeah,
because there's lack of oxygen, there's lack of what we sort of need to keep alive, you know. And they're going to do all these tests on Mars, which is like, I can't remember how long it takes to get there, but you know, I'll say a year, just roughly about a year to get there. It's probably less than that, but you know, they were going to send all the shit over there to go and sort of to try and test creating a civilization. And it's like, well, why the hell wouldn't you test it on the moon? For one, it's less costly. We can sort of keep a better eye on what's going on there on the moon because it's closer,
yeah,
and it's going to cost less to keep trying to send things back and forth. You know, to try and build a
yeah.
civilization
It will
on the
do, won't
moon.
it?
And it's like, why wouldn't you test it on the moon to go and like see where the flaws are? Obviously, they're doing things on Earth, you know, underwater facilities there, so no leaks or anything, you know, and you know, trying to put them in harsh environments and whatnot. You know, like they are doing the work. They're trying to figure things out. But to go and really
Yeah.
put it to the test, you like instead of sending it to Mars, send it to the moon, which I think they
You,
have
yeah,
changed their mind
that
now.
it's as if Anthony, there's got no common sense.
Yeah,
Now, considering he's meant to be big, fucking huge, quotes, so clever, and he's this, he's that. I don't think people understand that. All these inventions, etc. He's not invented them himself. He's got a team
yeah, it's
of
right.
scientists. They're the ones who have created it all. They're the ones that's building rockets, not him.
Yeah, no, it's it.
With
I think
him,
a lot of people
it's
sort of forget that too.
yeah. He comes back with comments about AI, saying it could be the downfall
Yeah,
of
he still builds
humanity.
it.
But yet he's on about putting chips in monkeys' brains. Why would he want to? Because obviously that's not going to work. So that's to me that's cruel. That's animal cruelty.
Yeah, it is. But in a sense too, though, like, well, how can you advance human ingenuity without doing tests on subjects, basically?
Exactly,
Like, I know
exactly.
as horrible as it sounds, but you know, we can't do it just without tests, you know, and that's where obviously people who are
It
willing to go
is.
and do it, they'll go in as test subjects, but obviously we'll be trialing it on animals first before we try and do any human tests, you know. But then,
Yeah.
like, if that's the case too, like, if we were just well, if we weren't doing tests on animals and that, we wouldn't have been where we are today with, you know, in the past where they're doing all medical sort of testing and all sorts of stuff. You know, different sort of medications, different surgeries. There, you know, they got tests on like what sort of tools are
It's unavoidable.
doing.
I would say it's unavoidable.
Yeah,
It has to be done, doesn't it?
that's right.
But for him to come back with such claims, I don't. There's something about him, mate. I'm not buying it. Something not right about him.
Yeah, see, I used to
Uh,
quite like him. I didn't mind him at all, like because
oh,
he was leading the way for like the space race basically, and
yeah,
which is something that's like I love space, and like he was punching through it, so I had a little support from him. But it seems like
yeah.
now he's
No,
sort of
no, mate.
changing.
I respect your view, you know, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to you. It's just my we've all got our own opinion of
That's right.
people,
We're
haven't
all
we?
entitled to it.
I just to me, there's just something not quite right. I don't know,
Yeah, no, look, definitely.
but
Like
yeah,
the past, I think the past year, he's sort of gone a bit changed. And something's happening with him. Obviously, for those who aren't really got an idea of who we're talking about, we're talking about Elon Musk. But yeah, so, but yeah, look, he's sort of becoming a bit more of a capitalistic sort of type now. He's sort of really starting to try and take over everything.
you know, I think what what topped it all off for me was, I mean, I've never been keen on him anyway. Not that I don't know a lot about him, but I think when he was bragging about buying Twitter, whatever he spent a daft amount on Twitter. Now it's his money to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's bragging about buying Twitter. But when you've got like kids and homeless people, and you've got like so much poverty, you think that if that was me and I had that kind of money to spare, I would try and make more use out of that money and help those what need it, like kids, homeless people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
That's
where it's needs
that's
to
what
be.
that's what I would do. But we're all different, mate, aren't we?
Yeah,
I'm sure he helps charities out along the lines.
yeah, without a doubt. I'm sure he does his part, but yeah, like I know what you mean. Like it's a shitload of
I
money.
just think he's still a bit of a dick.
I think, look, honestly, you have to spend $1 billion throughout the world fixing up poverty, and
Yeah,
the world
yeah,
will be better off regardless.
yeah.
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure someone's
I
done the
think he'll
maths
never.
for it.
Yeah, it'll never be enough. There'll always be wanting more, though, whichever charity. I think it's. I don't know. It's a shame. It really is a shame for some people. Well, especially some of these third world countries.
Yeah, that's where the money needs to go to. Like, to help them out, make sure they
Yeah,
got clean water, they've got crops and farms working for them.
yeah,
Make sure their life is sustainable. They're not always out there starving
exactly,
as
mate.
well.
Yeah,
That's all it needs, and like especially like homeless people around the world these days. Whether they choose to be homeless or not, I don't know. I'm not going to really try and judge them for what they are. Like, but obviously there are
yeah,
homeless people that do want jobs and they want a home. And, they want to have a family and all sorts of stuff. But obviously the world's working against them and not giving them the help where it's
yeah,
needed. And that's where
yeah. It's
just
just
the simple bit of cash from the rich, just to go and help out properly, will make a big difference throughout the world.
better than arsehole, are they, mate?
Yeah. But anyway, it is the world as it is, and it's not going to change anytime soon, unfortunately.
I know, mate. I know.
It's sad world, but mate, look, tell me, like, where did you start? Like, what made you think to want to start doing the podcast that you're doing now? Like, what made you like sort of want to go? Look, I love this sort of stuff. I want to go and make a podcast about it.
Well, to be fair, mate, I guess being interested in certain subjects, and then you get familiar with the podcast, and then you sort of it's like it's like you'll have like your favorite podcast, what you like listening to. I guess it stemmed from that, and getting to know podcasters, getting made some good friends, mate. Made some very good friends out there, and I guess it's built from that. Also, the encouragement what I had from other podcasters as well, that played a big part.
Yeah,
I mean, I've said it uh, numerous times. Certain podcasters, how they've helped me grow from. I'd never done anything like this before, me, Anthony. Never done anything like it. But I think when you've got the right people giving you the right advice and helping you, instead of doing what a proper friend would do, like help your friend out. That's what I think I've been in the right circle. That's what's I guess that's what's helped me progress and grow. When I've got like friends like New York Patriot and Lux and Raven, there's other guests like Gary Wayne and Robbie Marks. There's some incredible people. like yourself, Triffin, Grub. There's I think in like us lot, I'd say we're pretty close, considering we're all in different countries.
Yeah.
We do have regular contact, and I think to me it means a lot knowing that I know, like, if I need an hand from anybody I've just mentioned, from a lot of people, people got me back, and I've got everybody's back as well. And it makes a difference knowing that you've got support when when you need help.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Absolutely. It makes a big difference, like, especially like in a podcasting sort of world, you wouldn't really expect a sort of a supportive community. But like whatever you've done, mate, and however you've worked it, or like the people that you bumped into and created this sort of community, mate, it's
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't know what you. I don't know the words that really sort of describe it. It's overwhelming. It's just an absolute beautiful bit of teamwork, I suppose. To really sort of
Thank you.
make
And that's
make
how
something.
I look at it. It's like we're helping each other out because we're all in this together, mate.
Yeah. And it's just beautiful what you've done, mate. It's people like obviously who haven't been
Thank you.
listening to your show, mate. Like they don't really understand, but if they look a bit deeper into like check out your show and have a listen through of like the guests that you've had in there, and then they'll sort of like get a bit of connection on like how broad your this little community is that we've sort of got here. You already threw a couple of names out there, and you got Grub there, who's like he's been like a bit of a scout there and bringing all these people in there. Like he's brought me in, he's brought in Triffin from Unlocking the Code. We've had an awesome few episodes there together, and just in general, like we've
We have
jumped on the
indeed,
round
mate.
table
Yeah.
there a couple of times. Or I've been on there once, but yeah, it was just we're all talking, we're all got the same sort of concept, the ideas of the strange world that we're living in. There, like all these shadowy sort of governments and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Conspiracies, I suppose, if you want to call them that. There's weird shit out there we don't understand, and it's obviously, yeah, we're all coming on there talking the same sort of stuff, but everyone's got their own sort of perspectives, their own theories, and
They do, mate. Yeah.
and it all sort of matches up. At some point they're going to, well, look, yeah, this shit's been going on. It's
Yeah. And
yeah, it's just
and
wonderful.
and, and to add to that, mate, it's instead of like, whereas people try and in general they try and prevent progression. It's like with us, we want progression,
Yeah,
and that's why it's like, there's nothing better than just say I've had a guest on. There's To me, there's nothing better than me like saying, "Hey, mate, I've got something you might be interested in. I think you'd like to do a show with him. And, I've listened to this episode I've done and see what you think." Connecting people in that way,
yeah,
it's it's a bonus, mate. Knowing that you've connecting people,
yeah. And like
and
you were
then
saying there last,
they're growing.
that's right. And like you were saying before, like not everyone's here to monetize of it, and so they're not doing it to try and create a career out of it. They're doing it because they're trying to get the information out there. Get people to
Yeah,
understand that these things are sort of happening. Whether they want to believe it or not, that's up to them. But they're putting the possibility out there for people to understand.
yeah.
And again, yeah,
Show the truth, mate.
they're not trying to monetize off the whole concept of this whole podcasting sort of stuff because
Yeah, I mean,
that's not what they're there for.
yeah. We're all different, honestly. At the end of the day, we're all uh, in it for different reasons. It's a passion for me, and there's nothing better than uh, our listeners giving feedback. Whether it be positive or negative, it's all feedback, and it's all uh, comes part and parcel.
Yeah,
And having that interaction with our listeners it's as important as anything else to me. Now, I've been when I've been before I had my show, and I've been a listener myself, and I've sent messages to certain podcasters, and some get back to you, some don't. And I'm not just saying this now, but it tends to be you don't tend to hear back from those what have alternative agendas. Whereas like says me, Subconscious Realms isn't monetized. I don't think I ever will monetize it. It's 100% free. And from my own experience, I have found that you don't tend to get a response from those podcasts that charge, that actually have like monetize the show. Now, I'm not saying all podcasts are the same. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, from my own experience, I found you don't tend to get any response from shows what charge for episodes, like for bonus content or whatever way they do it.
Yeah.
It's those shows what you tend that don't get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah.
They're the shows what love the fans like us.
Yeah, because I don't think you even have ads in your show, do you?
No advertisements, no nothing, mate.
No, that's right. Whereas I do, like, I only have it there to go and sort of help pay for the podcast itself and eventually try and upgrade to different, better equipment. You know, that's about all I'm going to do.
Mate, there's nothing at all wrong with that.
No,
That's
as much as I
nothing at
hate
all,
it though,
mate.
like I hate having the ads in there because it just sounds horrible and takes up time. You know, I'd rather have things going straight to the listener. But you know, doing a little bit of this does sort of cost money because you've got the equipment there you got to pay for and you got to sort of stuff and all that. And obviously,
yeah. Just out of curiosity, mate.
Yeah.
You know how you said it helps pay for it. Do you? Does it get like? Do you get paid for like an advertisement, or is that how it works? I'm just curious. I'm not sure how it
Yeah, I
works.
think off the top of my head there, it goes for like per advertisement per downloads of the episode. So like you might have like,
all right, okay.
So you might get like maybe like 10 to 30 cents depending on what mob's paying for the ad to go up. So like obviously every different mobs pay different prices. So like you might get like 10 cents for this download there, and obviously depending on how many downloads you're gonna get, you're also gonna get like a couple bucks here and there from it.
So it's going to build up then, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. So obviously as the show gets bigger, then obviously the more money you get. But obviously if I get to that point there where my show is like earning a decent amount of money, but obviously I'm gonna go and look to upgrade my equipment there so I can make things a lot better. You know, sounds a lot better quality, or become more mobile and start going out into the world myself, and you know start doing public sort of events a bit more. You know, that's probably where I'm going to look at when it comes to monetizing.
That would be brilliant if you did that, mate.
Yeah,
that would be brilliant. I know that I don't know of any in England, but you hear quite a lot in America where they'll have like say Alien Con Day or something, and like you said, there'll be like speakers on and like podcasters. That would be, if you ever did that, mate, that would be mint.
Yeah, like one day that's one sort of achievements I want to try and get to, like creating those sort of events.
Well, do they do them in Australia, mate?
We do have like conventions and stuff like that, but they're all down in Melbourne or in the capitals.
Oh,
it's a bit far away from me. It's like a 9-hour drive for me.
Are you closer to Griffin or Griffin? Triffin,
yeah,
or
Triffin. He's
sorry, Triffin, mate. Sorry, pal.
He's I think it was 9 hours to get down there, or it might be 8 hours, something like that, to get to down to.
Oh, you're away from. All right, okay. Are you close to Grub then?
No, Grub's even further away. He's about what would he be? About 15 hours away, I think.
15 hours, man.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
It's a 15-hour drive.
You don't realise how Australia is fucking huge.
Yeah, it is. Because look, how long does it take for you guys to get from one side of the island to the
other? You could probably now. From one end to the other, there's like it's pretty obscure to get to like the top of Scotland and the bottom. Really, I don't know, maybe what tell you what. I said I can't. I was going to say I'll auto route it, but I can't do it on my phone, because of StreamYard
That's all right.
won't let me change screens.
I'd
say from here, from where we are to Glastonbury Festival, you're talking about 5-6 hours. So I don't know, a couple more hours on top of that, easily.
Hang on.
So nowhere near 15 hours anyway.
It's saying 14 hours, but I don't think that's right.
Oh, from the top of the UK to the bottom.
Yeah, maybe. No, I think I might have worded it wrong.
Maybe, mate. If you think about it, if they take into consideration, you put in a speed limit on there, and you've got your if it's taking you on another route like A road, a certain part of it, I don't know, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon it's
like
1800.
If it might put a speed limit on it as well, or something like that. If it's going to like 60 mile an hour, it's going to lots of things.
Oh, hang on. Now it's saying maybe 9 hours. So hang on. How long would it take to drive from the top of Scotland to bottom of England? So hang on. Someone's saying probably 15 hours, which is... Yeah, okay, so that's decent. That's 15 hours. So that's basically the same as going from here to get down to where Grub is, down in New South Wales.
So are you more not? Are you like past Canberra?
Yeah, I'm north, well and truly north of there.
Right.
So you know where the triangular sort of tip of Australia is on got the big pointy bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm probably about about 14 hours from there. I'm probably about the halfway point from there down to Grove. So I'm at the halfway mark. So it's a long way.
It is.
And it keeps going further south from there. That's still not even the bottom of Australia yet.
And to think how big it is, and how much of the land is probably there's nobody living there or anything. It's just desert.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of desert. When you move out west, that's when it gets pretty desert-like.
Do you ever get, or do you ever go out like on, when people go out like in the bush and that, and they go on camping out and stuff? Do you ever do anything like that?
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Oh, do you ever? Have you ever seen anything strange while you've been out camping and that?
No, unfortunately.
I bet you've heard some strange things.
Yeah, no, nothing like yowies or anything. I've never had that sort of experience. Oh, unfortunately, I would love to, but I can't say I have.
Yeah, mate.
I think just wherever I've gone, I've just been either really, I don't know, ignorant of my surroundings. But then again, I'm usually pretty good with my surroundings when I'm out there. I sort of recognize things or get to know what certain things are, so I don't get lost. So I'm pretty good in that sort of getting directions and stuff like that. But nothing to the point of we're hearing strange noises of a yowie or any rocks getting thrown at me or anything like that sort of sense, or nothing, or trees getting shaken. Nothing like that, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to say I do, but no, unfortunately, I don't.
I don't. I tell you what, mate. I would love to see anything or hear anything, but fucking hell, I bet it's terrifying. I don't know if I'd do it, run off laughing or fucking run off crying or.
Because you haven't even seen a UFO, have you?
No.
Oh, you're missing out.
Mate, I'd love to. And I can't. But people say, "Oh, you need to take this. You need to take these. You need, for hallucinations and that." That's bullshit, that, man.
Oh, take some DMT or get a connection. Or
I've never taken DMT, mate, but I have hallucinogenics, and I still never seen a UFO when I've been on that. I guess I've not been lucky enough to see something along those lines as of yet. That might change. I hope it does.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm sure it will. Hopefully, one day. But then again, you got people that go through a whole lifetime don't see anything at all.
Yeah, I
But
think.
then other people are lucky enough to go and see them quite constantly. It's like, well, why are you so special?
Yeah. But you said something earlier as well about in the US they've got so much fucking cryptids, so many UFO sightings. Well, you mentioned as well different crafts. Now, excuse me, mate. Sorry, it's
You're right.
fucking belching then. Yeah, you'll think like all we know is of all we did know was like the like saucer type craft, whereas not like now you've got there's orbs, there's like rods, there's like tic tacs, there's the triangle, there's those what like they look like a cluster of lights, and then they'll just like change pattern formation and then end up being turned into one.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? What's that all about? It's fucking incredible, mate.
Yeah, I can't grasp the concept of some of what's out there, eh? Like, I had a recent episode where one of the girls they're experiencing they're driving along the road and this white orb light sort of come through across the top of their car and next minute
An orb
three
light.
yeah. So there's no they couldn't see any like
Oh,
real craft, but it's more like just a
yeah,
big bright light orb and next minute three little lights came out underneath it and sort of sat there and started doing like little weird patterns and whatnot. And it's like, what the hell is that all about? You know, like doing like a bit of a light show. Yeah, they're cool, but it's like whether they're trying to entertain or sort of like show themselves a little bit. But it's like I kind of get the concept of what actually is that. It's like, how can you have this like orb light spirit or whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
and just drop down three little babies, you know, just to go and play around or whatever. You know,
That's
it's a weird
that
like
sounds like that. What I seen a video of, and it looks like that. Like it's just an example. Let's just say there's five lights in a line, then it'll all of a sudden it'll change formation, like exact perfect opposite, and then it'll change again. Might go into a circle, and then it'll go into a triangle, and then it'll be one, and then it'll just change for. Hey, what the fuck's going on?
yeah.
Surely that can't be somebody or people in sync driving like drones. I'm not having that.
No,
So
that's right.
how could you get four or five drones in sync, perfect, and then merging it into one? I just can't see how that would be possible.
Yeah, I'd probably be more on the drones. So I think like they're probably
Yeah,
easy to sort of get into a sync. But when it comes to like a biological entity that's intellectual, like like us, like we see
yeah,
those planes that do the formation flying,
yeah.
or even like the synchronized swimming or whatever. There's always someone who's just that little bit out of sync. Like it says some pretty like they look good, they do, they're awesome, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not in a perfect synchronization, are they? Like there's always that one or two people that are sort of just that little bit slower or out of a little bit out of whack.
yes, yeah,
So like when you like what you're talking about there, if these were biological entities that are controlling these crafts directly, but yeah, they're going in a perfect formation to go where they need to go to. Like I don't,
they are perfect.
yeah, I just don't think that can be a biological entity. Like I don't know how. Well, I know they're intellectually well above us in that regard because of technology and whatnot, but I don't think I'd know, or maybe they can do like a telepathical sort of
Yeah,
connection. They go
that's.
right now or something like and
I
control it
think
that way. I
that
don't know.
sounds more practical. I think that would sound more practical in my opinion.
Yeah, I just thought that up then as a bit of an explanation as I was trying to explain something. I was like, oh, actually, it kind of makes sense in my head. Talk about a telepathic
Yeah,
sort of.
it is to think about it. It's like, fucking, how's it possible? But
Yeah, because like obviously we're too. Well, that's the other thing there. Like we're too reliant on technology and know of its capabilities. Whereas when it comes to the drones, like I don't know if you've seen those drone light shows that they do. Yeah, I lost you.
you know,
Yeah, got you now.
all right, okay, yes. Sorry, mate. My earphones have run out of battery.
Oh bugger. No, you're right.
I've just got you on the loudspeaker on my phone.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Uh,
That's fine.
no, what sound are we on now? Actually,
Yeah, that sounds good.
sound mate.
But yeah, I don't know if you've seen those synchronized drone shows that they do.
Um, I don't think you have, mate. Actually,
I'll have
what
to
are
send you a
they?
link, but they do like they get like about like 100 drones or 500 drones or something like, and they all
Yeah,
program and they do all these like bit of a light show in the sky and they do all shapes and stuff like that in the sky,
right,
and
right.
it's pretty amazing. Like they then that's when you're talking about synchronization, like drones, like they're spot on because
Yeah,
obviously everything's done on computer, and everything's done synced up perfectly. So like that's where I was sort of trying to get on, like if it with these entities with their crafts and that, whether that's a technological drone there where they're synced up to go and do these formations or whatever you're talking about there, where just in sync in general,
yeah, yeah.
perfectly in sync, or these entities are telepathic and they have the ability to sort of like go, yep, righto now at the same time, sort of thing.
Right. It's Did you say you sent them to us, please, mate?
Yeah, I'll send them through to you
Yeah,
on the
I
Instagram when
look
you get a
forward
chance.
to watching them, mate.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. It's a beautiful art too. Like it's some of the stuff that they pull up is like, wow, that's cool as.
Do you think that your own personal experience? Do you think that they are maybe a government? Don't know which government, but a government trying to fuck with our heads, or do you think it is um, some sort of extraterrestrial?
Oh, it's a tough one, eh? It's I'm not sure if I'd call them extraterrestrials at this point
Right.
yet. I'm sort of more leaning towards maybe a terrestrial sort of like from a previous civilization that got to the point of advancement
Oh, mate, I
and
love that.
and
I fucking
then
love that. Nice one.
and they've survived the cataclysms there, but they've had the technology to sort of like they start zooming around
Yeah.
these crafts and whatnot, and they're hiding under the ocean or down in Antarctica even. Um,
Anthony, that's fucking gold and that.
yeah,
I love that. It,
but or they're an interdimensional being where they're like they could be in a completely different dimensional plane, but they can travel between here and their world or wherever they want to go, and they're just chilling out on our world, checking out what we look like, and
yeah.
I don't know, then sort of trying to get an idea of what we are in that sense too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Um, so I guess are you open to the theory on ETs coming from the ocean?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I think I wasn't too into that. Be honest with you, um, it's only past couple of months where I've leaned more towards that direction, whereas it being in the ocean or something being in the ocean,
Yeah.
it's a brilliant perspective as well. I think
Yeah. Well, you'll think about like there's a lot of
no
ocean
better
down there.
hiding place, is there?
Oh
No better
shit, yeah.
hiding place.
And like we seem to know more about our deep space than we do our ocean.
Yeah, yeah, because there's parts of the ocean where undiscovered.
Oh, easy. Like because we can't get down there. It's too much pressure. Like, and it's very costly to
Yeah,
get down there. and the technology that we sort of have is, whilst it's advanced in its own way, like, it's still not perfect enough to sort of really keep going down there to go and search the
Yeah.
bottom of the ocean. So, which sucks, but hopefully one day we'll go and be able to sort of cruise down there and get a better idea. Like, but actually, come to think of it, NASA's sending out a new satellite where they're going to be doing a topography of the oceans. So obviously, we're going to have
Seriously, is
yeah,
that where they do like it's like an X-ray of the land where
yeah,
they usually do like over where they go like over gravestones and shit like that and find out what's actually on each layer. Is that the same stuff?
similar. I think it's just more so just like the surface layers.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. Oh mate, that would be brilliant. That.
Yeah, so they're basically going to be scanning the whole bottom of the oceans there and getting a lot better detailed information of, like, the cliffs and crevices down there, and potentially finding alien bases down there. For all we know, we might find bloody Atlantis down there. So I don't know. To me, that's pretty cool. Like obviously we've got satellite images there.
Yeah.
We can see a lot of, like, if you look at Google Earth, you can see where, like, you've got these trawlers are doing all these dredging, and that they've got their trawlers with their nets out just scraping along the ocean floor. It looks like
Yeah.
an airport runway. Like, that's how far they're bloody dragging their nets along to catch all these fish. That's a horrible way of trawling, but
What is
that's
it they're
sort of
doing?
what we have.
Dragging nets.
Yeah, they're dragging nets along the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, they're ruins it, doesn't it? They're. I mean, I get it's like where the oceans are. How they've raped the earth for fucking raping it for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you've got like fish where like where they go fishing, they'll, like you said, they'll drag the nets on the seabed.
Yeah.
And it's fucking all the like the vegetation and all the whatever it is. It just wrecks it.
It does.
Yeah, I've seen those. Might be on Discovery Channel when you see all the videos of the damage what it causes it and the ocean life. How it's like it's slowly dying.
Yeah, because it's horrible. And, like, you can literally go on Google Earth and go along the coastlines of countries there, and you'll see some form of bottom dredging. Not dredging, but, like,
Yeah, it's
bottom
shit,
trawling
isn't it?
there. It's a bloody horrible.
I bet you get quite a lot of that as well in Australia because
No, I
you're,
don't think we're allowed to do the bottom dredging, bottom trawling.
is it Japan where it was big?
Possibly Japan. We definitely one of the Asian ones, because I know they get right up into the fishing side of things.
No, do they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it been made illegal certain fishing in Japan?
Oh, I don't know, to tell you the truth. I couldn't tell you. But I remember, like, because I went to Thailand there for my honeymoon, and I remember seeing all
nice,
these massive commercial ships there, the red and green or the red and orange sort of lights, and I'm pretty sure they were fishing boats. Well, they could have been in some commercial boats. Don't quote me on it. I don't know, because it was hard to see. It was nighttime, but there was shitloads of them, and I had to do a bit of a search up there. I'm pretty sure it's the orange light where they could bring the prawns or the squid up and all sorts of stuff. So they're bringing up a lot of the squid and that from their lights.
So this can you get kind of squid what? Squidding, did you say that?
Yeah, they go and get squids. Get squid
Yeah.
with the light, because the light, they attract to the ambient of the light.
Right. Yeah, they're a strange creature, squids, aren't they?
Aren't they? Yeah, they're
Very strange.
very different.
Yeah. Have you there's a program on, I think it's on Sky Atlantic, it's called Resident Alien. Have you seen it?
No.
It's like a comedy series where this alien fucking ends up crash landing in I think it's some town. It's a bit like an Alaskan town. It's basically an alien what has took over the body of a human, killed him, but he's like sort of shape shifted, so he's like took over the body, like a bit like a suit, like a meat suit type. It's quite funny. Or you might
I
have
think I
seen
might have seen
that.
that. So it's the guy that, one of the guys from Dumb and Dumber, wasn't it? That
Oh, do you know, mate? I think it looks like one of them, doesn't it?
yeah, I'm pretty
But
sure he's the guy.
it might have been in. It might have been in it. I don't know his name off the top of my head,
No,
though.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head either. But yeah, I think he was one of the characters from Dumb and Dumber back in the day with Jim Carrey there.
Yeah, it's funny that way, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that there just for a bit of humor there, but I don't watch a lot of TV, so it's sort of
Well, do you know what, mate? Like, I tend to. I don't mind like series like fucking American Horror Story stuff like that, where like anthologies like Creep Show. I don't mind some science fiction as well,
yeah,
but yeah, a lot of telling shit, isn't it?
it is. It's just I don't know, I just like doing my own thing. Like I'm a bit of a geek. I like playing my games and stuff like video games and whatnot. I find it
There's nothing
because
wrong with being a geek, mate. Nothing wrong with that at all.
oh no,
I think we're all geeks at heart. I am.
definitely. Well, everyone's a geek these days now
Yeah.
because everyone's got their faces in their phones. So bunch of
Yeah.
geeks, nerds,
Yeah.
yeah, playing
Yeah, we're
phones,
all
playing
nerds,
their
mate.
Candy Crush on their phones all the time. You know.
Candy Crush. And do you know what I used like me? Subway Surfers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's...
Fucking 45 years old playing Subway Surfers. Oh, brilliant.
But yeah, like for me, like, I prefer to play my games because I feel like it's a lot more interactive. Like your brain's actually working. You're not sitting there, like
Yeah.
drooling with your eyes locked to the TV. If that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're actually thinking you're doing something. You know, and plus you
Yeah.
can play with your mates and stuff like that, and it just makes it a lot more
Yeah.
fun.
I
But
get a headache as well, being able to watch too much telly.
yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Like, it depends on your personal preferences there with screen times and that, because things obviously people get things differently with the screens because of the brightness and whatnot. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you still
True
can't
that.
beat just going out in the world there doing a bit of camping, fishing, whatever, and that. Like I don't do it enough, but you just can't beat going out in the bush. Just going out in the scrub there, go for a walk, go around the forest, seeing around all nature, and that you still can't beat that. Like that's just the
Yeah.
what life's worth living for, really. Like just seeing nature in its purest.
Cheers, mate. I mean, I love going out with a mountain bike, mate, down Sankey Valley. It's there's nothing better, mate. That fresh air. It just seems to always like it's like always appealing to like be outside, even when the weather's shitty. I mean, like now here, I don't know what's weather like where over your way. It's about -6 here today.
Oh, geez, what are we?
Cold.
We're 25 degrees Celsius at the moment. It's nighttime.
All right. Oh, what time's it now, though?
We're coming on midnight,
Oh, mate.
and yeah, 25 degrees. So that's quite nice outside.
Lovely, mate.
That's like prime weather for us. It's like ye beauty. But I tell you what though, coming out during the day though, it's like up to 40 degrees.
Yeah. Nice, mate. Nice.
That's our
Yeah.
normal.
Are we all right for about 5 minutes left, mate? Just that because I've got to go and grab our release. Is that all right?
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. No, look, I was about to go and start finishing up now, anyways. To leave you to
Nice
it.
one, mate. Nice one.
So, but yeah, look, yeah, mate. Look, it's absolutely ripper having a chat with you again, mate. It's great having you on. It's just great to get you on my show this time, because I've been on your show there a couple of times already, and
Thanks,
it's
mate.
just definitely about time to get you back onto my show.
Yeah, it means a lot for you to have invited me as well. Because you know what I feel about your show. You're one of those what you don't get the recognition you deserve, mate. and I mean that from the bottom of my heart as well. I love your show. I love how it's unique, and it's you, and it's like I said, like I can have a guest on who's covering aliens, and I think of you straight away because I know, like you're that's your forte, mate. Got a lot of respect for you and your show.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, mate. Like, I can say the same about you, mate. Like your show, like in itself,
Thank
mate.
you.
Your show's so broad, and like you were saying before, like you can sort of say the one topic there, and it can sort of get a little bit stagnant being the one topic, which isn't a bad thing. Like it depends on what your interests are, but like your show, you
Yeah,
basically cover everything. Like it doesn't
try
matter
to.
as yeah, like everything that you know of anyway. Like because there's still so much out there we need to learn. Like in
There is, mate.
you've got
Yeah.
the platform there for it to be able
Thank
to
you.
cover it. You're not scared to sort of dive down into the unknown there. Like, okay, some of it might be a bit hard to believe or hard to swallow, if you want to call it that. But still,
Yeah.
that idea is still there, and whether that part's true, like you're saying, like 1% could be true. But the fact is, like
Yes.
you, but and saying
Yeah.
that too, though, like how long you been having your show for now?
Just like literally, just over a year now.
Jeez, you done well, man. What was it? You like how many episodes you got? Like 150 or something?
I think it's about 100 and, mate, I don't know, about 150, some maybe 152 or something like that.
I'm gonna have a quick look for you.
Around that,
Where are
around
we
that,
at?
mate.
Hang on, I'll get you on in a second and find out exactly. So,
I think the latest one I released was White Supremacy Part 2.
yep, so 153.
153. Oh, good
Yep,
guess, mate.
there you go. Well done, mate. You're smashing it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's absolutely awesome, man. Like I think I'm just coming up to my 50th episode now. I've been doing this for 2 years. I need to pull my finger
Mate,
out.
mate, no, I still, uh, it doesn't matter about how many I've done, mate. I think I'm not doing it for that either. Just doing it because of the pure fascination. Your the content from your show is very specific and very unique, and you know, I don't know anybody that could create what you've created, mate. Because you get proper like testimony of people when they've had it, and they're actually contacting you.
Yeah.
And you've had, I think of that, you've had your UFO page. How long have you had that for?
Yeah, that's going on 5, 6 years now. Yeah.
So 5, 6 years, and that's the biggest in the
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah, yeah,
Fucking hell,
Australian
mate.
UFO sightings dash
You think
AUFOS.
you
Yeah.
you've kept that running, and it's grown 6 years.
Yeah.
That's some achievement, that, mate.
Yeah, no, it's appreciate it. Yeah, it is a decent achievement, and I'm quite proud of it.
It is.
It's
Yeah, I will be proud of it as well, mate.
but that's the idea. Like, I'm trying to get the reality out there. Like same as like you're trying to get a knowledgeable reality out there to try and
Yeah,
get the idea,
yeah,
the concept of history, the idea of what's being hidden away from us. That we're both on that same sort of path there, where we're trying to bring forward the facts and the credibility to what
yes,
people are seeing and experiencing. That's the whole idea of this, and that's what we're so infatuated with, because
yeah,
it's so neglected and shunned upon. And it's still got that stigma attached to everything that we talk about, because people don't understand it, or it's against their normal perception. And so they don't want to question it. They don't
yeah.
want to open their mind to it.
It's like they don't understand it, so it's like it's almost as if they're fearing it, because they can't accept what they don't understand.
No,
It's
that's right.
weird and it's different.
Which you can't blame them, because like when you look at the past 30, 40, 50 years or something like, we've been in it, or even longer. It'll be on 100 years now, where we're sort of stuck in a tradition where, you know, people were in religion. That was their thing. Like, you can't question the religion. And obviously they had to go to do the church on Sundays and all this shit. Obviously, going from a Western society's perspective, it's like obviously England, Australia, and America. Like, you know, they were very strong with their religions back in those days. And so, anything that questioned against the religions of God, you know, that you got burned at the stake or something like that, you know, and or you were cast out and put down as a crazy person, and which sort of kept going throughout the years as it was. And you still got classed as a crazy person throughout the years, but now in today's sort of day and age in society, we're sort of getting away from the traditions. Like, I myself, like, I'm mid-30s, whereas I still respect the old traditions, but I'm open to the new things that are in today. We're realizing what the governments are doing wrong, you know, and how controlling they are, and then the generation after me is sort of a lot more open to that sort of thing. You know, they're a lot more carefree of the traditions. They give a shit about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas I think probably from your area, you'll be pretty strongly into the traditions there, but you're still open to a lot of things too. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you know, I get what you mean, mate. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? But fucking hell, mate, I think as difficult as it is, I won't change. I won't change right now for fucking anything.
Yeah. No, there's no need to change anyway, mate. I think what we're doing is we're playing it perfectly to sort of, you know, we are the pioneers of the future for bringing out the reality of these realms.
Yeah, we can only try, can't we, mate? Make it better for our young uns.
That's right, and hopefully they can sort of play it on and fight along for the future.
Yeah. But mate, I've loved speaking to you today, Anthony.
Yeah, no, great.
Let's do something again soon once you've sorted a few things out with, you know what, next week.
Yep.
Which, mate, I let us know, mate, as soon as you find out. As soon as you get a chance to let us know what's what. I can't wait. I'm fucking made up for you.
Nah, cheers, mate. No, definitely look forward to coming back on with you and diving down deeper in this rabbit hole, mate.
Wish you Mrs. good luck as well from us, please.
No, we'll do. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that.
Mate.
Before we go, mate, do a quick little blog again for us if you like, where people can find you and contact you, and if they want to get on your show as well, mate.
Yeah, okay, mate, no problem, thank you. So Subconscious Realms, available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Pod. Instagram is at subcon_realms33, and Twitter is at subconrealms33, and email is subconsciousrealms@gmail.com. If you want to hit us up on Twitter or Instagram, drop us a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I see it. But yeah, if you've got any episode suggestions or any questions, or if you've got any comments about the show, by all means, get in touch. But yeah, I love you all.
I love it. I'll have the other links in there in the show notes anyway. There on the episode there. So if anyone just wants to just go and click the link there, and it'll send you straight to you. So that'll.
Oh, nice one, pal. Thank you.
So yeah, no, look, mate. Thank you very much again for coming on, mate. It was absolutely wonderful having you on, and definitely look forward to having you on next time.
Thank you very much, sir. Good luck on Friday, mate. I'm sure you don't need it, but like I said, wish your missus good luck, and mate, I can't wait to hear good news anyway.
No worries, mate. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Have a nice night, mate, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Catch ya.
See you later. Bye.
And that will do it, folks, for this episode of Encounters Down Under. I hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, you can also get involved in the show by joining the Facebook page and getting in on the live streams. Also, please be sure to share with your friends and family to help us grow and potentially find our next guest on the show. If you or you know someone who has had an encounter, please get in touch with me through our Facebook page via Messenger or email at australianufosighting@outlook.com.au. I look forward to seeing you on the next Encounter Down Under. Hooroo!